All right. Hello. My name is Nicole. Welcome back and thanks for tuning in, just hanging in there with us. This is, I think, our fourth session out of a six-session series. I'm just so grateful that you've chosen to spend a moment with us today for our discussion. You are not alone. Today really is all about identifying and even finding a way to embrace this new virtual way of staying connected during stressful times because let's face it, social distancing is being enforced and everyone needs to limit their contact with each other. And that can be a very, very lonely feeling. So today I'll talk a little bit about the importance of staying connected. What does it mean? Why do we need to do it? How is it beneficial to us? Specifically, I'll talk about staying connected to our natural supports, and I'll define that in just a moment. So if we think about it, technology really does present us with endless possibilities for staying connected during tough times. Although it's not the same as gathering face to face, technology can shape our futures for the better through better connections and a sense of togetherness, even in times of separation. So why not use it to our benefit and get creative with the ways that we stay connected virtually? Now, I mentioned this term connected, and so if we pause for a moment and just really explore what that word means, we can begin to think about all the people and the places and the things that we're all connected to, right? We're connected to our families, our friends, our computers, our phones, um, our jobs, our places of worship. Ugh, we're even connected to our pets. It's almost impossible to not be connected to someone or something. So, with that said, connection is just so important to feeling good and to being motivated to do good. Really, it's really all about just finding a way to thrive throughout life. You may have heard the expression, it takes a village, right? This is because it's harder to face life alone. I mean, as we, kind of grow and develop and remain true to our human basic instincts, we are literally neurobiologically wired for connections. I mean, connections within us at a cellular level, but connections also with the people and the places and the things that are within our environments. So Brene Brown, some of you may or may not have heard of her. She's amazing. If you haven't, watch her Netflix series. Um, she defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. She said, when they derive strength from the relationship, right? It's really that connection to others that gives us the strength to face adversity and to not only do that, but to overcome it through the support that other people can offer if we just ask for help or take it. So we talked about the importance of having connections, but with who or with what, right? And then this term comes up, natural supports. And what does that mean? Well, natural supports really just refer to the support or the assistance that we can gain from other people that we have associations with, right? Or relationships with. Um, these people are people that we're exposed to in everyday situations or environments. So, for example, our families, our school, work, anything that we do within the community, right? These relationships and the support and assistance that they can offer us help us maintain and enhance our quality and security of life, especially for those individuals who might have a disability or who are facing a life challenge. So, who can become a natural support to me or to my family? Well, we have friends, we have family, we have neighbors, we have people who belong to our community groups, we have coworkers, people within our church or our place of worship. It could be someone that we volunteer with, or even our peers, someone that we went to a training with, or somebody that we see in a coffee shop on a regular basis. And the ways that we can form these connections are really throughout our natural interactions, like I said. So for the family, it could be seeing those extended family members or even friends of the family at certain things like holiday celebrations or, during gatherings, loss of a loved one, that sort of thing. In the community events, we can gain natural supports through group activities or recreational activities, church functions and activities, even, like I said, volunteer opportunities or social events, really anything that the school offers too. They have great school time and activities that exist within that community that can serve as natural supports to folks. So, I talk about connections, but really, like, do they enhance the quality of life? Like, what is it really, the importance? I have a lot of friends out there who say, I'm a loner. I live alone. I prefer to be alone. When I go to dinner, I want to be alone. I go to the movies by myself. I'm really comfortable. I don't feel like I'm isolated. It's just my personal preference. Well, the research tells us that positive connections can enhance our quality of life, right? Here's a graph of some research findings from a study that was done from 2015 to 2018. It had more than 4,000 respondents, and they looked at how connected people felt they were to their family, their friends, and others within their community. And what they found was that natural support networks significantly increased the quality of life, especially for people who identified as having some sort of disability, whether that was emotional, physical, or mental disability. For example, people with natural support networks are 3 times more likely to perform different social roles than if they were to have no natural support networks. And I don't know about you, but what I take away from that is we're more likely to kind of be bold or to try new things or to put ourselves out there maybe for a new job or to go to college, all those uncomfortable life experiences that exist, but are also there to enhance our quality of life, right? And we're more likely to do that if we feel like we have people around us who support us, right? Everybody needs a really good cheerleader. And so that's what we're talking about here when we talk about natural supports. Those people who cheer us on and show up not only in the good times, but also the bad times when we need some support too. And so, we talk about the importance of having connections, right? And these positive connections and how they can enhance our quality of life. But I want to spend a moment and really just kind of explore this a bit more and reflect on this. Like, why is it important to stay connected when we're apart? I have these folks saying, it's been nice to kind of have the break or to have the slowdown or to have a little bit of the separation. Maybe we felt ourselves getting a little bit too dependent on our social networks, or we were just kind of getting burnt out with all of the social gatherings and things like that. So social contact really is a good natural human instinct and need, right? So being together in public spaces, whether it's at a grocery store or a place like a park, these are just all elements that contribute to our collective sense of well-being. When we aren't able to do these things and physically gather in all types of ways, not only celebrating, but also we can't gather in our schools for graduations, we can't gather in our places of worship or in our neighborhoods. This all collectively causes stress on our well-being. And it can be especially difficult for those who are already dealing with mental health issues, or who were already feeling extremely lonely, or who had money stress, or were feeling burnout in the workplace. But just because we can't physically be with each other doesn't mean we can't emotionally or mentally be together. It's all about staying connected, which is pretty easy thanks to technology. So I say be creative as possible. Let's get really creative here. And who says you can't have a gathering? Who says you can't have a date night with a friend or a loved one? Who says you can't play games with friends or go to the gym or have a happy hour with your friends? We might not be able to do these things the way we used to do traditionally, but we have to create some sense of normalcy and fun. Also, having something on my calendar, I don't know about you, just really gives me something to look forward to, and that automatically improves my my mental clarity and my mental well-being, right? Because I look forward to social gatherings. So let's try these suggestions for virtual social gatherings. First, schedule a date with somebody that you would have usually had dinner, lunch, or a coffee with, right? So stay connected with them, just do it in a different way. Online gaming is huge right now, especially with our kids, and I guarantee they know more about this than I do, but People communicate virtually while playing games together all the time. And so this might be a good way to stay connected to others. Also, at-home workouts with a buddy via FaceTime or Zoom. Okay, that might seem a little bit weird, right? Having a camera watching you while you work out, right? But it's really the only other way to work out with somebody else. It might help you stay motivated and on track with your fitness goals. There's a lot of free YouTube channels and apps out there that are giving free at-home workouts, for example, Fitness Blender. So check those out and try it with a friend. Consider hosting a virtual happy hour. If this was part of your routine with friends or coworkers, it might be really nice to get some consistency back in your schedules. So don't hesitate to plan a gathering online. And lastly, just a suggestion here about coffee breaks. So you might have missed the conversations that you had with your peers or your coworkers now that you're not at an office, right? But think about scheduling a coffee break during the workday just to catch up with those folks and chat the way you used to. So here's a few online virtual platforms that I'm aware of, and I'm sure there's a whole slew of them out there that exist that I'm not aware of, but here's just a few in case you're not comfortable or not familiar. We'll start with Zoom. Zoom is just a communication app for video conferencing. What I like about it is it's free. You really only need an email address and a password to sign up for it. It's a great way to video chat with several people at one time. Another thing is Duo. This can be downloaded on your iPad, iPhone, or Android device. Very similar. You can host a video chat with several people at one time. House Party. This is another video app that you may or may not have heard of yet, but it's a really great way to stay connected. I know a lot of the teenagers are using it right now. It's a lot like FaceTime or Zoom, where you can interact with several people at once from your cell phone. I think it allows up to 8 people on at a time. What I like about this is you can also play games with whoever you're chatting with. Acts just like a house party would, where friends knock on your door and you let them into your party, and then you guys interact as you would when you're at one another's house. If you haven't already heard about FaceTime through Facebook Messenger, it's another great video chat option. There's lots of fun faces and games and filters that you can play with while video chatting with others. And you can also do that with multiple people. Marco Polo is one that I wasn't 100% familiar with. It's new to me, but it's another app that lets you send video messages, kind of like Snapchat. But the videos can be a few seconds long. And this one tracks your conversation a lot like a text message chain. So you could go back and kind of read or watch your conversation at a later time if you wanted or needed to. If you're not a face-to-face video chat kind of person, like I said earlier, you got to get creative, and technology has a lot of ways to help us do that. But you can just create a Google Doc. This is free, and then you share the link with folks, and it's a good way to keep a running chat or a list with your friends or with your family. And if you haven't tried, this is my new favorite thing, Netflix Party. It's an extension of Netflix that allows multiple Netflix users to watch shows together from different locations. So it's a great way to have a movie night with friends or with family, or to kind of gather on, a scheduled day of the week for your local programming that you used to watch together. So in order to thrive, I really think that people need to feel close no matter the distance, and now more than ever. Technology really does enable us to remain connected and like in really convenient, meaningful ways, regardless of the situation. So have fun with it, get creative on how you stay connected to others, because it's really important for your overall well-being. And lastly, we always end with resources. So my message to you is just stay connected. If you feel like you or your family or loved ones are struggling, don't hesitate. Erie is highly saturated with resources, and we're here to help whenever you need us. My suggestions are to start with your local community schools. Erie County has several now, so if you're close to them, check in with them and see what resources they might have right there at the school. United Way of Erie County has a 211 system. You can text it, you can call it, or you can surf their website. It's a great place to start if you don't know what exists and you also don't know what you need. The Erie County Department of Human Services launched a website called eriesprout.com. You can search for children and adults for mental health, behavioral health, drug and alcohol services, and homeless shelters if you're in need of that. Erie County Care Management and Community Care Behavioral Health are great organizations to start with if you find yourself in need of formal supports or services and you're not really sure what you qualify for or if your insurance will cover it. Crisis Services at UPMC Safe Harbor has a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week crisis hotline. They also have a warm line for children and for adults. You can reach the crisis line at 814-456-2014. And lastly, like I said, my name is Nicole Wells. I'm the System of Care Project Director over at the Achievement Center, and we've been serving children and their families for decades now, and we would love to work with yours if you find us to be a good fit for what you need. So stay connected, stay safe, and stay positive.